Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman, best-selling author, certified life coach, and founder of God-ordained Listen, I wanted to jump on here and talk about the 15 signs your God-ordained spouse is waking up. I posted this post on our community tab early this morning, and some of y'all had a few questions, so I wanted to, just go over the 15 signs to know that your God-ordained spouse is starting to wake up. God is starting to wake them up. And also just give you some understanding and clarity. Okay. So come on in. Let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Hey, Petra, God bless you too. Thank you. Hey, Melissa, thank you for joining us. Listen, I'm excited. Okay. I just feel like God is doing a new thing. I'm a sensor, so I can sense things, when it's happening in the spirit. Hey, Facebook user. Hey, Fire Game. Thanks for joining us. I just feel like God is doing a new thing. Okay. Hey, Neo. He is waking up prodigals. And I'm going to tell you something because I wanted to post. God was the one who told me to write this post last night because I wasn't thinking about it. Hey, Anna. He was the one who told me because he just dropped it in my spirit, like, go ahead and write this, right? Gave me the title and all. Hey, Facebook user. And so I say all that to say, I wanted to post up this post today because I need you all to understand that we serve a God who cannot lie, okay? We serve a God who will keep his promises to his children, right? So I wanted you all, and I'm so happy and thankful for those of you who've been sharing your testimony of how you're talking to your God-ordained spouse and how you're seeing, the changes happening in them, because we need to hear more of these stories so that we begin to, share how God is moving on our behalf, how God does wake up prodigals from that spiritual death, right? We need to hear more of these stories. So keep the testimonies coming because I'm going to keep on sharing them. Okay. So, all right. I think I said hi to everyone. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you like the video, this live video, and subscribe to the channel. Hey, my Facebook community. I can't see your name, but I know y'all tuning in. Yeah, so let's go over these 15 signs your God-ordained spouse is waking up. So let me just pull this up right quick. For those of you who do not know, I shared it right here on our community tab on YouTube, but it's also on our blog over at God-ordained So in case you want to read the 15 signs, you can just head over to our blog at God-ordained and click on the blog tab. So number one, the first sign to know that your God-ordained spouse, God is waking them up, is that they are now in back and right standing because they have repented of their sins, okay? If you are posting, I can't see your comments because I'm looking at this blog right here. But the first step in this process of waking up is a repentant heart, right? They got to get back in alignment with the Lord. They have to, acknowledge him as Lord and Savior over their life and just repent, and ask God, to forgive them. So that is the first sign, okay? And so the second sign to know that your God-ordained spouse is starting to wake up, they praying and reading their Bible more. You might even see them worshiping the Lord. They talking different, right? And in their conversation, you hear more of God coming out of their mouth, okay? This is a clue, that's letting you know God has really did something new in my God-ordained spouse, okay? Number three, the third sign to let you know that God is starting to wake up your God-ordained spouse is they have let go of the pride and has humbled themselves. So whenever you get the opportunity to, be face-to-face with your God-ordained spouse, or maybe you over the phone with them, you will begin to pick up on, they seem humble. I don't hear all of that pride and arrogance, in their voice, right? And so that's another clue, okay, or a sign that'll let you know that God has really done some correction and, he moved your spouse from being prideful to now humble, okay? The fourth way, and let me say this. I didn't say this at the beginning. this word isn't for everyone. Let me just say that right off the back. Okay. This isn't for everyone. Okay. Everyone, prodigal isn't waking up right now. It all depends on your season. Every one of us, each one of us, we are in different seasons. Okay. So I don't want you to get your hopes up, thinking this word is for you and this is a full-blown prodigal. Okay. You would know if I'm speaking to you. Okay. You will feel the conviction in your spirit. You probably have already seen some of these signs, so I'm talking directly to you. Okay. Let me just say that right up at the front. The fourth way how you know God is waking your spouse up is they starting to walk away from the counterfeit. So one of the things the Lord shared with me, one of the things he told me was that he can remove the counterfeit, but he said, I want him to do it. Right. That was what God, he just straight told me that. He said, I want him to do it. I want my son to do it that way, because it's different when God removes a person. We tend to go back, right? We tend to want to, figure out what happened. But when you begin to remove that person, that means you got fed up. That means, you're like, you know what, we're done. I'm done. I'm not going back. We're going to go ahead and just end this right here, right? And so that's what the Lord was speaking to me when he told me he want him to do it. He was like, I can do it. I can do it right now. But I want him to put it away. Right. So when you start seeing the counterfeits being put away, that is a clear indication that your spouse is starting to wake up. Okay. Hey Melissa, I think I said hi to you. Hey Lindsay, NC Beauty, CC, thank you all for joining us. The fifth way how your God-ordained spouse is starting to wake up, because the same people who came up against and attacked your God-ordained love story, because they could have been family, they could have been friends, right? These same people are now being removed out of your God-ordained spouse's life. Okay, if they were some of their family members or friends, they're being removed. Okay, and that removal could have happened from the Lord, or it could have just be your spouse walking away from these individuals, right? Because when you start waking up, you start coming into your right mind, the scales begin to fall off your eyes, and now you get to see clearly. You get to see what the believing spouse was seeing, how they were surrounded by their enemies, right? And these people who were just destiny's blocker, right? So when they began to, distance themselves from wrong connections and relationships that's deleterious to their well-being and destiny, that's a clear indicator my spouse is starting to wake up, because he or she sees what I have been seeing all of this time. Okay. Number 6, they feel remorseful for the things that happened in the past. And so that's just a clear indicator. We all been hearing this word all year, that prodigals are feeling remorseful, they so sorry, things of that nature, because the Lord been convicting their heart. Okay. Number 7, the 7th way how your God-ordained spouse is starting to wake up. If your spouse was superficial, just flashy, just put a lot of focus on the outside appearance, then that goes away, right? They're not defined by material possession. Excuse me. You start seeing the opposite taking place, right? Intimate conversation. You start seeing the opposite. You see they shift from being superficial to now a woman or a man of substance, right? You start seeing like, okay, they're not really focusing all that much on the outside. They now, there's a shift has happened in them, there's some depth to them, they really focusing on the inward part, not just the outside, right? And they're not even defined by their material possession. Okay. And that's a clue to let you know they are coming into learning their identity in Christ. Okay. Number 8, this is a big one. Number 8, whenever you get the opportunity to see your God-ordained spouse, and if you have a before picture, when like probably when God revealed to you this was your God-ordained spouse, and you have this picture now, like today, when you're seeing them and you compare these pictures, you will see how they look healthier. They look healthy, right? Because the wages of sin is death. What we fail to realize, and I seen this in my own self. Let me tell you something. I was going through this was last month. I was going through some of my old YouTube videos. And I took them down, but I was going through some of my old YouTube videos all the way back in 2017. And oh my God, you could see the sickness all over me. I mean, just looking at myself in those videos, I look sick. Okay. And I really was sick. That's when I was diagnosed with the Graves' disease and all the other stuff. But I was a prodigal during that time. Okay. And when I was looking at that picture and I looked at the picture today, I said, I look very healthy. And this is the same way with your God ordained spouse. When you compare the before and after, you will see their before, they looked like they were slowly passing away. They were dying, you know. And when you look at them now, they look I'm about to say happy. They look healthier, and yes, happy for some of them, you know. They look healthy. So that's how you know, life is coming back into them. Okay. Number 9, the ninth way how you know your God ordained spouse is waking up. They seem at peace and more relaxed. So if your God ordained spouse had that spirit of anger or that harshness spirit on them, or just cold, when God wakes them up, you're gonna see the spirit of peace, contentment. They relax, that's what you're gonna see on them. You're gonna I'm a sensor, so I can sense everything. You might not sense it, but I sense things. So you will see that, and you're not going to see that spirit of anger manifesting. Just lashing out at you. Some of y'all don't understand your God ordained spouse. Prodigal spouse. The reason why they holding these grudges and angry and lashing out. That's a spirit. That's a demonic spirit. That is. The Lord is showing you, I need you to go in prayer and pray this spirit down, because that's what I was doing with my God ordained spouse. I was praying that spirit down and out. I was doing deliverance on him without he even knowing. Okay. But that is just understand when you see the peace, they content, they relax, they coming back into their right mind. Number 10, if you were dealing with a Saul, who was showing up as your God ordained spouse, then the persecution will have stopped. And I say this because this was something God revealed to me in a dream. Okay, I heard the words and I also saw it go across, I want to say the screen, but I was dreaming. But I heard the words, the persecution has stopped, right? And I also saw the word spelled out. So that, that's another way how your God ordained spouse is starting to wake up. Okay. The 11th sign to know that your God ordained spouse is starting to wake up is they coming back into their right mind. So understanding is returning back to them. Wisdom is hitting their heart. Okay. You will see this in them, right? When you interacted with them or when you talking to them, they might start teaching you something you don't know, right? That's how you know, okay, they not operating, like how they was in the past. They operating with some wisdom. They have a mind of understanding, because when you are a prodigal, one of the curses that comes upon you is a mind of no understanding. So when God restores them and brings them back into their right mind, you're going to see that mind of understanding. The 12th way is that they recognize you. So they stop all this rejection and they begin to identify you are my God ordained husband or wife. Okay. So this is very important for everyone to know. Hey, Anna, this is very, Mariana. Hey, how y'all doing? This is very important for you all to know, because some of you have been rejected from your God ordained spouse in the past. And because that rejection, the way how you were rejected, it hit at your self-esteem and your self-worth. And now you're wondering, how can this ever work? I hear what you're saying, God, this is my spouse, but this person not attracted to me. I don't look like the counterfeit, etc., right? But you need to understand that is a scale, okay? That is a scale that God has to come in and remove. Okay. And he also had to bring some correction there, right? Because some of these prodigals are choosing these counterfeits out of their own unhealed wound. Okay. So you have to understand that. But when God wakes them up, they're going to identify you. They're going to see, who you are to them, and they're going to, embrace you and pursue you the way how you always desire to be pursued. Okay. The 13th way how your God-ordained spouse is starting to wake up is that they start seeing the counterfeit's true colors and motive. Okay, this is why God was saying, vengeance is mine. He don't want us to take matters into our own hands. You don't have to try to convince your spouse. The counterfeit is there for all the wrong reason. They cheat on or whatever. God will reveal it. Okay. God will open their eyes and they will begin to see the counterfeit's true color. They will begin to identify the real from the fake, So that's another way. Number 14, they influence you in positive ways. So this can only happen if you are in connection with them. Well, I shouldn't say this can only happen that way, because let me tell y'all something. I share this a lot with my one-on-one clients, but when you understand, when God tells you that this is your God-ordained spouse, right? And when God began to give you dreams, let's say he gives you dreams of your spouse, you and your spouse are holding hands, or maybe you're hugging or whatever, God is showing you that because he's basically telling you, that represents covenant or agreement, right? And so he marries us we are already married in the spirit realm, right? So the same way how God calls the believing spouse to stand praying for the God-ordained prodigal spouse, right? Because our prayers are sanctifying our prodigal spouse, right? It's basically lessening the judgment that God was going to give them. For some of them, they probably would have just just died, but because you prayed, God said, okay, I'm gonna have mercy on my son or my daughter, right? Now, here's the thing. The same way how your prayers can help lessen that judgment, I need you all to understand that we have the power, okay, to pull on this God-ordained, like on this love story. So let me try to break this down for you. So this is the only thing I have to, do this. So let's say this is you in the middle and your God-ordained prodigal spouse is here. Yeah, this is you and they right here. So this the prodigal lifestyle, right? And you are the God-ordained spouse. So as you start healing, can you all see me? Okay. As you start healing, you start doing the work, you healing, God telling you, I need you to heal. I need you to forgive your spouse. So you start doing the work. Now, as you're doing the work, you moving this. You moving this, think of it as a cord. You moving your spouse over into healing, right? As I'm doing the work, right? The minute I start, the believing spouse, the minute I start worrying, doubting, now I'm pulling my spouse back over to doubt and worry. You get this? I'm gonna tell y'all how I discovered this, because last year, hey Dixie, hey Eagle, this is how I discovered this. Last year, I was hearing God tell me, I need you to operate this way. I need you to do this. He was giving me all these instructions. But when I would look at my God-ordained spouse, just living their best life, So I was like, look, I was like, God, I don't understand this. I say, nah, wait a minute. I say, now, why do I still see that he's wrestling, with you, with what you're telling him to do? I'm like, I'm telling God, this is what I'm telling God. I said, now I'm doing what you're telling me to do. So I thought, I'm like, I'm praying, all this other stuff, but I don't see him stop wrestling with you. And God said, because you still wrestling with what I told you. He said, I told you to leave. And he did. He said, I told you to leave your spouse. You still there. You still checking. He said, when you start wrestling with me, talking about God, he said, then you will see your spouse start wrestling with me. I was like, okay. And so that gave me a revelation here, that the way how I show up will determine how he show up, my spouse, right? So if I'm wrestling with God, I'm going to see him over there wrestling with God in a certain area. It doesn't mean that we're going to be wrestling with God with the same thing. It could be different things, right? If I'm inconsistent with God, I'm going to see inconsistency over there, right? When I become consistent with God, he gonna start becoming consistent in his life, right? When I start healing, I'm gonna move him into healing. Do y'all understand how this works? Let me know if y'all understand how this works. I thought that was just very powerful when God revealed that to me. You know, when I get in purpose, I automatically pull him into purpose. Okay. So when God revealed that to me, I was like, all right. And that's when I really just stopped. I was like, okay, I gotta get straight obedient with the Lord. Okay, you say yes, I get it. Right. So this is, I'm telling you, y'all gotta get this. Because when God gives you those confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, you're like, well, I don't know. Okay. That's why he over there rejected you, still talking about he don't know. Okay. You got to become aware of this stuff. When you get confident, he gonna get confident and walk away from that counterfeit. Okay. I'm telling you, if you showing up with low self-esteem, you showing up competing with a counterfeit, comparing yourself, feeling not good enough, you know what he see? Your prodigal spouse. He know you the God-ordained wife, but he see she has low self-esteem. I ain't in no hurry to get back over there. That's what he see. So this is why we got to take our eyes off of these counterfeits. Okay, they got a time limit. Just look at the counterfeit as a time limit. Okay, it's gonna run out. Their time is going to be up. Take your eyes off of the counterfeit. Stop comparing yourself. Stop competing. Get your confidence up. Because when you become confident, because really this is what they waiting on. God-ordained, I'm referring to the husbands now. This is what the God-ordained prodigal husbands are waiting on. They waiting on a confident wife to appear on the scene, okay? Because they don't believe in God. So he needs to see in his wife, she really believe God. She really believe his word. Okay. Because he already know he got doubts going on in his head, right? So he needs to see that confidence in you. He needs to know my wife know who she is. Okay, she ain't worried about these women. That's sexy. That's attractive to a man. Okay, I'm telling you, try it out. Okay, now the last one, number 15, they started to see your worth and value. Now, I see y'all questions. I'm gonna get to it in 1 second. So let me say this, okay? Because right after I post this morning, a few of y'all was like, well, how will I know if God is waking my spouse up, if these things are happening in my God-ordained spouse, if we are in divine separation or we're not talking, there's no contact. Excuse me. The way how you would know, that God has is starting to wake up your God-ordained spouse is because God would tell you. The only way how I knew all of these things. Now let me say this before I say this part. Because one of the ways God speaks to me is through dreams, okay? Yeah, it's through dreams. And when God gives me dream, I know he's not always done speaking. So that's the first thing you all have to understand. When God gives you a dream, excuse me, that doesn't mean he's done speaking to you about that particular dream, okay? So I have a notebook that guy, he told me around April, he was like, start recording your dreams. I said, okay, but I don't never forget my dreams. So even though he told me to start recording my dreams in April, I still remember the dreams he gave me back in 2019, okay? So since I'm recording the dreams God is giving me, right? And last night is when he told me to write this blog post. And I just started remember. I was just like, because I thought it was just different, for him to say, go ahead and write a post on God-ordained spouse waking up, And I just started thinking about all the things God revealed to me in a dream, right? He gave me dreams of the counterfeits being removed, right? And I remember one day, this was in May. I remember one day I was praying and fasting, and I was pressing into prayer, and I kept hearing the word removal. It just kept coming back to me, right? Don't get blocked. You know what? Hold up. It just kept coming back to me. Okay. it just kept coming back to me, removal, right? So and I caught what the Lord was saying to me, right? Because he was telling me a removal was happening in the spirit, of these counterfeits, a removal of wrong connections, wrong relationship, thought patterns, things of that nature, right? So I was like, okay. So God is always speaking to me and telling me what he is doing. Okay. So this is how I was able to come up with this list. It was 15. It could be more. I just identified 15, of these ways, of what God has been revealing to me, right? He gave me the dream of destruction. I released that on the channel back in June. He just kept giving me dreams of my God-ordained spouse, and I would just see destruction, okay, coming upon the lifestyle, the prodigal lifestyle, and some friends and businesses, things of that nature. He also gave me dreams back. Now, this was early, probably the beginning of this year. He started showing me dreams of my God-ordained spouse as a changed man. And I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait." Right. So he was just showing me how, like in a dream, he would be so nice and loving. My internet went down, but he would be so nice and loving and caring and gentle, So that was God showing me, this is when I restore him and change him, this is what you're going to get. So understand, okay, even if you're not in contact with your God-ordained spouse, and you might be in a divine separation, God will tell you. Now, here's the thing, here's the problem. Because for some of y'all, you don't really know how God speaks to you. And that's a problem. Because this is a God-ordained marriage we're talking about here. You are the God-ordained spouse. The key word here is God. So we have to keep God at the center of this love story. And by him being at the center of this love story, I have to learn my Father's voice. I have to learn his voice and learn the different ways he speaks to me if I want to know how he's moving on my behalf, according to my prayers, right? So, and then for some of you, God speaks to you. You know this, but you doubt what God is telling you. Your faith is not growing to that next level. And so that's where you got to begin to pray and ask God, help my unbelief, increase my faith. You might have to go through deliverance where you are rebuking that spirit of doubt and unbelief out of you. Okay. So you would know these things because God would tell you these things. This is why I put up the post a couple of weeks ago when I was saying record your dreams, record the prophetic word, record this stuff. Because when you put all the pieces together, you get 15 signs God, is restoring is waking your God-ordained spouse up. Okay. So I hope this brought some clarity to this spiritual awakening that is happening. We're going to see more testimonies of, prodigals waking up. Okay. I do feel it. I sense it that God is doing a new thing. His word cannot return back to him void. It's wake up time. Okay. It is wake up time. So I wanted to go over that because some of you had some questions like, well, how will I know? You would know because God would tell you. He would tell you. Okay. So let me see. Some of y'all questions. Okay. Facebook user said, the last day of my 7-day fast, my husband told me that during our separation, God has been tempering him to make him a man deserving of him. Okay. That's good. Yeah. And he will. God will do that. I believe you all can hear me, because if you couldn't hear me, you probably would have told me. How can we see that when we haven't met them? Well, that's when I said at the beginning, this word isn't going to be for everyone. Okay. If you never met your God-ordained spouse, you don't even know if they're prodigal or if they are in a right mind. So this this might not be for you. Okay. This is only for those who know. Okay. This is for those who know this, my spouse is a prodigal, right? And like you can, this, your spouse is a prodigal. And this is for those who already have been seeing God wake your God ordained spouse up, right? Sometimes we could overlook some of these signs, right? We could overlook it and miss it as these are signs that God is waking my spouse up, right? We could, like, let's say with the remorse, your God ordained prodigal spouse come back and apologize to you. You might not see that as a sign that God is waking him up. Okay. So this was one of the reasons why, I shared this today, because I'm like, they need to know the signs to look for. Okay. So for you, Petra, if you haven't met them, this not for you. When that season come and then they start showing signs of a prodigal and you start praying, then you could come back to this post and then begin to look for those signs. Would dreaming of a passionate kiss signify agreement? I don't know your definition of passionate, because it could, could just keep, just keep watching that, because just keep watching it. Yeah. That's right. We are mirrors of each other. We are. Yep. Whenever I go into sin, so does he. And you know what? That's where God, tells us to be loyal. Okay. Okay. Miss Anderson, I just answered your question. How can we see the signs if we are not in contact with them? You see the signs by because God would tell you. You have to know God's voice and how he speaks to you. So God doesn't speak to everyone through dreams, but he might give you vision. He might, you might be someone who senses things, you have to know how he speaks to you in order to, these signs to be revealed to you. Crystal, you want to go ahead and break off that spirit of witchcraft off of him and rebuke that fornication, lust, sexual perversion spirit that's in him. Yes. So, Miss Anderson, she said, I had a dream that my prodigal was coming out of darkness 2 weeks ago. Yep. And so when God speaks, he's telling you what is to come. So he already told you your prodigal is coming out of darkness. So just go ahead and move into expectation of it. Okay. You said, what if God revealed you to your husband already and he told you you're their wife, but God hasn't revealed anything to me, and God told him not to tell me anything yet, but he did out of time and disobeyed? You know what? If you haven't heard from God that is your God ordained husband, then do not believe anything. Okay. You wait on the Lord for that confirmation. Wait on the Lord for that confirmation. Because a lot of counterfeit, a lot of Ishmaels love to step on the scene and say, oh, you're my wife. They know the right things to say. So just wait for the Lord to confirm it to you. And all you gotta do is just pray, and God will confirm it. He will either confirm it, he will give you a confirmation dream or a correction dream. A correction dream, let's say you are thinking this man is your God ordained husband, but it's really not. God will give you a dream that's basically telling you that's not him. And he will say it in his own way to you. Okay. I'll share this story with you. So there was a time when I thought my one of my children's fathers was the one for me, right? I went to God, I was fasting and praying, and I was like, what should I do concerning him? Because I believe he's the one, I was going in. And God gave me a dream that night. He was in the dream, who I was praying about. He was in the dream sitting down. I was like sitting in front of him, but I was looking back at him. I think I was like at a bookcase, probably putting books up. But I was looking at him sit down in a chair. And all I kept hearing as I was looking at him was, let him go. Right? I kept hearing, let him go. So I woke up and of course I ignored it. I was like, oh, that was the devil, right? I ignored the dream. So, God already knew what I was going to do. So the next day he gave me the same dream. He just hit repeat, rewind. Gave me the same dream. I heard the same words, let him go. So I woke up and I said, what do you mean let him go, God? I was like, he is the father of my child. I said, you know how we be wrestling with God. So God said, he didn't say anything, but I guess he already knew. The next day, which was a Sunday, I go to church, only to hear my pastor preaching a sermon on letting go, right? So I said, okay, Lord, all right, you want me to let this man go? Okay, he's not the one, right? So that's what I mean when I say he would give you a confirmation dream, confirming this is your God-ordained spouse, or a correction dream. He was correcting me, like, that's not the one I chose for you, Tequila. I want you to let him go, okay? Yes, daily devotional. She said sometimes God wants to test our perseverance, because perseverance, as you allow it to have his way in you, you allow it to do its work. That's how character is developed. That's what we don't understand, and I said this before in the previous video. This stance that God has us, on this waiting period, he's building our character, right? When you go through suffering, hardship, or you just have to be patient, that's building character. Okay, so you're right. Crystal said, but I don't want him to be the one now because he has sex with his ex. That you just got to heal from that. That's what that is. And you don't get to determine who is the one. God gets to determine that. So you got to just heal from it. If that is your God-ordained spouse, you got to go through the healing process. What if I am the prodigal? Hey, if you are the prodigal, I need you to ask yourself, well, all you got to do is get back in right standing with the Lord. Get back in right standing with the Lord and return back home to your father, because being a prodigal means you're serving the devil. Excuse me, you're serving the devil, and there's no benefits to serving the devil. He will highlight it. He will try to make it appear, oh, I'll give you all these blessings, like how he told Jesus, I'll give you all these blessings if you just serve me. But no, soon as you're a prodigal. So being a prodigal brings curses upon your life. Okay, that's what the devil don't showcase to you. So your best bet is just to repent, ask God for forgiveness, and make him Lord and Savior over your life. Can dreams show them waking up? It sure can. The other day, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wrote it down in my book, but yeah, I had a dream that I was looking out the window at I don't think I saw it. I think I heard this part in my head. I heard it in my dream. I saw me looking out the window, but I think I heard this part. I was looking at him waking up, and I woke up. I woke up from the dream. And as soon as I woke up, I said, wow, okay. Because, sometimes when you're looking out the window, that can mean vision, So, but I already knew what God was telling me. He's telling me he's waking him up. God-ordained spouse recognized them and gave them a passionate kiss in a dream. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. You just said it right there. He recognized, I know we got some male in the group, but he or she recognized you and they gave you a passionate kiss. So they recognizing you as their spouse. which means they are coming into agreement with the word of the Lord. Hey, Sylvester, the fakes know what to say. Yeah. Let me see. Crystal said, this really messed me up emotionally. I went by his confirmation, sister, and I had been talking to him for 2 months, and I didn't want to be anything more than just friends, but he pushed. That's a sign of a counterfeit when they try to speed you up or like pushing you into a relationship. That's a red flag, okay? But you always want to get your own confirmation. Don't go off of someone else's confirmation. Don't even go off my confirmation. You want to hear from the Lord, okay? So that you know, okay, I heard from the Lord. This is the one. I'm about to move forward. Yeah. Tanika said, I was wondering, do God speaks to the prodigal like he speaks to the standing spouse? Yes. I believe God is always speaking. And I can only say this because I was I be on YouTube watching other videos of I like to watch the videos of the prodigal husbands. Um, they're no longer prodigal, but I like to hear their testimony. And all of them have said how when they were out in that prodigal lifestyle, how the Lord was always speaking to them. It was them who was ignoring God's voice, who was telling God, get away, leave me alone, so God, he really does speak to the prodigals, because in the Bible it say he would even come for the one that's lost. That one, he's coming for him. He love him, you know, he love them. So he want them back in right standing. There's a purpose and a calling on their life. And he's like, come on back home. Come back home, you know. I had a dream of me. I had a dream of me in wedding dress. The same week he had his vision of me, and he was so sure of me and even described how I look. He didn't even know how I look. He's doubting now I'm his wife, and I don't know how he fell that low having sex with his ex, knowing she's doing witchcraft on him and has the spirit of Jezebel. If she's doing witchcraft on him, they could put spells on these men, and they could put love spells on them to where now they have the man seeing the God-ordained wife as all wrong. They had him looking at the God-ordained wife like she Jezebel, and have the counterfeit looking like the God-ordained wife. Okay, so you got to understand, he's not operating in his right mind. He's up under curses and spells. Okay, but you still want to go back to the Lord and get some clarification for yourself concerning him. He gave me, Khadijah said, he gave me a dream. He was changing also dreams he wanted. Yeah. Yep. I'm telling you. It blew my mind when God showed me that when I was looking out the window, and then I heard you watching him wake up. I said, wow. Bless K. I had a dream. We fell asleep together, and I was close to his side, like where his ribs are, nothing inappropriate. He woke up and said, I never felt asleep like that before. Do you feel it too? So I'm not going to interpret no dreams on here. Yeah, he probably did had a dream though. So if I had a dream about me and a supposed kingdom spouse at a wedding, but it was us kissing quickly at the wedding and the kingdom spouse indicating that we are now married, is that a sign? Yeah. Yeah, that's a clear sign. Mm-hmm. That's a future. God is showing you glimpses of this is how I want y'all to look at your dream. You know how, like, I'm on this computer. I'm on the computer and I'm looking through this monitor, right? So when God give us dreams, he is allowing us to see what is taking place or about to take place in the spirit realm. Okay. So This why you don't have to, doubt whatever God is showing you. He's telling you this is either taking place or it's about to happen. Okay. Same thing if he give you like you get dreams of the devil, or the destruction, bad dream. God is showing you. He's like, this is what the devil is plotting up here. I need you to pray against this so that it can't manifest, in your life. Because whatever we see right before our eyes, it took place up in the spirit realm first. So God gives us dreams. We're his children. He's like, okay, I'm trying to warn you. I'm showing you what the devil is plotting. So we have to begin to wake up, rebuke it, bind it. I had a dream. Let me tell you something. I had a dream this morning, and I don't even know where this dream came from. Well, I do know where it came from, but I knew it was demonic because I don't watch TV all like that. And I didn't watch any TV last night. But in my dream, it was two men. One of the men was trying to get close to me so that he can take out the other man. And here's the crazy part, because like he would be right, like this is me, he'd be right here, the first man, but it was almost as if he didn't see me. He couldn't locate me because I was standing right here, but he just couldn't. It was like he just kept going around me, But I knew it was a demonic dream, and it's probably some witchcraft because he ended up, I don't want to say the word, he ended up, trying to take out the other guy. But that told me when I woke up, pray against it. Pray against, and don't try to don't overlook it. No, because that was something the devil was trying to cook up in my life. Now, who he's targeting, I don't know. But that was my job to go here, rebuke that dream, come out of agreement with that dream, rebuke any person that's trying to, attach themselves to me to take out somebody else in my life. That's what that dream was telling me. So understand, when God gives you dreams, he's showing you what is happening in the spirit realm. Yeah, Khadijah said, I had a dream he changed. I expected him to be the same, and God showed me he changed. I was prophesied this was my spouse. She told me, not now, another time. Right. Yeah. Yeah, God will show you how they would treat you and show up and act, when he changed them. Sometimes my heart have this real heavy flutter feeling whenever God is giving insight that he's dealing with me. I used to fight that feeling because I didn't know for sure if it was God or not. Yeah. It could be. Okay. Is there a prodigal male channel you maybe can recommend? What is their name? It's not a prodigal male channel. But one second. The husband, because they married, the husband was a prodigal. And now he's on the platform teaching, sharing his testimony with the wife. It's amazing. It's called Gerald and Yvette Ministries. Gerald and Yvette Ministry. I bought her book. It's amazing, just to see how he's right next to her. He's in deliverance, ministry and stuff, and sharing his testimony. And he was a prodigal. Yeah. Can the enemy I don't get what you're saying, NC. Fool. Can he fool you in your dreams? Oh, yeah. The enemy, yeah. And let me tell you one way how the enemy will fool us in our dreams, right? So the enemy will give you dreams of, you might see your spouse in your dream coming to have sex with you. And because you think this your spouse, you have sex with that demon, because it's a demon. That's a spirit. And that was probably sent your way, to bind your spirit up as soon as you have sex with it, right? So that's one way how the enemy can fool you in your dreams. The enemy can also um he can also misrepresent who your God-ordained spouse is in your dream. So if your God-ordained spouse was very respectful towards you, now the enemy is showing you dreams of your God-ordained spouse just being disrespectful. You just know that's not him. That's how you know that's the enemy, right? So yeah, he can fool you in your dream. That is possible, Crystal. That's why I said that. It is possible. She said, so is it possible he's thinking that she's the wife and I'm not the wife anymore? Now, here's the thing. He could be thinking that. If she put some spells on him, yes, he probably is thinking that. But he sounded more like a prodigal himself. Okay. And if he's a prodigal, he got a lot of confusion. He got a lot of open doors, open to the enemy. So again, go back to the Lord, ask God, is this my God ordained husband? Okay. Let God reveal that to you. She said, but why is witchcraft working on him? Shouldn't the Lord protect him? The Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. If he got the door open to Jezebel, who is now doing witchcraft on him, he has destroyed himself because he opened the door to her. He's lacking wisdom and knowledge. Okay. So it's not the Lord's fault, and the Lord's not protecting him. He opened the door. So the same way I can open the door, I need to close that door. You follow me here? So again, it goes back to, because when you're a prodigal, you're not in your right mind, right? So when God tells the believing God ordained spouse to stand praying for this particular person, he's doing that because he understands, my son, your spouse is not in his right mind. He doesn't understand or even know he got a door open to the enemy. So I need you, daughter, to go ahead and close that door for him. And we do that in prayer. We do that by praying down whatever God is showing us. I see witchcraft, I'm about to rebuke that. I see pride, I'm about to rebuke that. I see Jezebel, I'm rebuking Jezebel and Delilah and Hagar, I'm going in, okay? So you got to understand, he got that door open to the enemy and he must close it. But in real life, he's living with another woman. Told me he's not leaving. They have to leave in order for him to officially move on. She doesn't want to leave because she doesn't want or pay bills. He want to be there. He want to be there. Has anybody been seeing brides lately? Everywhere I go, I see brides. Yeah, I have. Does a kingdom spouse, hey Bella, does a kingdom spouse have to be saved, to be ordained? Nah, because this is how I see it. And I'm just gonna speak from experience. They some of these kingdom spouses are prodigals, which means they have drifted away from the Lord. Okay, they walked away from the Lord. So there was a time when they were saved and they were walking with the Lord, but now they off into darkness. They serving the devil, right? So I'm saying that just to bring some clarity to it. Now, if I don't know if you're asking, like, maybe your spouse never accepted the Lord Jesus Christ into their life. Could this be a kingdom spouse? It could. If God tells you that's your spouse, it could be. It could not be. You got to go back to the Lord to get that answer from him. But speaking from experience, prodigals, okay, they have walked away from the Lord. So, They not Sylvester say non-Bella. I mean, but she got to go back to the Lord because you never know. You never know. You just never know. Right, Sylvester. He said, I mean, technically, yeah, because they're going to be saved, but they might not be saved yet. The time God tells you, right? That's why I shared that with the prodigal. You know, because when God tells you that's your spouse, he or she may be a prodigal. They might not be walking with the Lord, but that doesn't mean God didn't call them. That doesn't mean God didn't he doesn't have a purpose and plan for their life. No, because God already know. He know the end results. He already know. I'm gonna save them. He already know. So we don't even have to fight with it, wonder. He already know. Yeah. So Khadijah said, what if, I mean, she said, I had to put a whole nother word in here. What our sister is saying, these God-ordained spouse, they are of the world. If witchcraft or lust or any form of sin they are partaking in, that means pray and remain hopeful as they are not woke yet. Right. Yes, Gerald and Yvette ministry. Put ministry at the end. Gym ministry? No, Gerald and Yvette ministry. Okay, Melissa knows. She's like, they're amazing. They are. I got her book, Help for the Help Meet. It's really good. Hey, Janine. We had King's prayers on Tuesday. Okay. Hey, Tammy. Tammy said, honestly, I don't think it's that time. He's still not fully woke. I'm just being honest. Everywhere I look, I see money though. Yeah, and that's why I said it at the beginning. This post or this live isn't for everyone. You have to know what season you're in, and you got to really understand this process, because last year I didn't understand it, and woo, I thought every prophetic word was for me. I was like, oh, that's for me. That's for me. And I was getting my little feelings hurt, mad at God for no reason. Yeah, okay. PPK. Yep. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's when let me go back up to your comment. Oh, okay. On Tuesday, they pray for the kings on Tuesday. Okay. I do. I get her notifications in the morning when they go live. I just never jumped on there. I always like to catch their replay. Lashana, I don't know what 22. I mean, just look it up. You can just look it up because see, here's the thing. Someone asked me a question. I mean, they didn't ask a question. They left it in the comment. I'm trying to remember. It was basically asking like, can I give some like things to look for in your dream to know that it means marriage. But here's the thing, because that's not how you interpret your dream. You need context. Okay. When God is speaking to you, you can't just go off oh, I see a ring or oh, I see this number. You need the whole context of it. And so just understand that. That's why I try not to interpret dreams on here because I need to know everything. How did you feel when you woke up? What did you see? Who all was in the dream? What color did you see? Did you see any numbers? Did you see any words? It's a lot. So, and it doesn't, and then like if I was to tell you what 22 means, because I have a dream manual book, but that doesn't mean that's what God is speaking to you. It can mean something else. It can mean something else. So you got to go back to the Lord and ask God, why do I keep seeing 22? What are you trying to tell me here? And allow him to lead you into, what 22 mean, what he is speaking to you. Yeah. Life about Toya. How do you close? My screen keep on jumping. Wait a minute, y'all. How do you close a door from demons? Well, when you identify which door is open to the demon, you just close it. You close it by okay, I'll give you an example. So let's say like fornicating. That opens the door to the enemy, right? So if I want to close the door, if I want to get the enemy off of my life from attacking my life, I need to just stop fornicating, because now I'm aware that that is a door that's open to the enemy. The same thing with, and let me finish it out. So I close that door by stop fornicating. That's one way. And then I have to repent, right? So I got to go to God in prayer. I repent for fornicating. God, I ask that you would forgive me, for fornicating. I believe that I'm forgiven. And then you just stop fornicating. So that's one door that's closed. Then let's say I have a cursing problem, right? Because sin is sin, right? So that's a door that's open to the demonic. So I want to close that. I have to stop cursing, right? Let's say I'm walking in pride. That's another door, right? You got to identify what is that door, okay? And it could be many doors, but what is that door that's open to the demonic or to the devil? Repent of it, ask God to forgive you, close the door, right? That's what repent means, to turn away from it, to not do it again, right? Have a change of heart. So that's how you close the door from the demons. And then sometimes you also gotta go through deliverance too, okay? Because depending on how long, like pride, everyone deal with pride. Depending on how long that spirit been in your generation, that could be a stronghold. So that's something, you will have to go through deliverance for. That's something God would probably have to break off of you and off of your life. So it's a lot. Yeah. Janice said you must cast them out. Yeah, then close them doors to them. Hey, Catherine, what? She said, what you doing live at this time at work? I was about to record this video, but then I said, let me just go live, because I knew if I would have recorded, it's going to take a little time to upload it. I said, let me just go live. I know witchcraft is not spelled, but I'm saying I was attaching my answer to what she was going through, because I can't remember what she said, but she was saying something like it was something. Y'all got to go back and watch the replay. Sometimes as the standard, it's easy for us to put blame on Jezebel, when in reality it's the choices they make. God is not going to force. Yeah, right. But I get what you're saying, Ashley. I get what you're saying. But if we're honest, a lot of these men are just led by their eyes. They're visual. They are easily led away by what they see. So, if they learn how to control what they see, right? Just because it look good, that don't mean you got to go chase it. That don't mean I got to call it up. That don't mean I got to go give you my time just because it look good. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I know it could come across like we put a lot of blame on Jezebel, but Jezebel is Jezebel. If the fruit is manifesting, that's what it is. And these men, they don't understand the devil uses Jezebel. He was sending them spirits their way, seducing spirit, their way to seduce them in however way they do it. It could be just with their body. It could be just whatever way, right? But because they are lacking self-control and discipline, they give in to it. So they give in right into that web. Invisible says, so should I just leave him alone until the counterfeit officially leave? Yes. You don't entertain anyone who's still entertaining a counterfeit. You're not second. If God said that's your God-ordained spouse, you're first. You're always first. So don't Don't put yourself in a second. Don't allow this person to make you an option. You're not an option. You're the spouse. So leave. If they choosing a counterfeit, let them have them. Let them have the counterfeit, because this is how they begin to realize, okay, I don't really want this counterfeit. This is not what I'm looking for, and then they eventually, make their way back around to the one. Darlene said, yes, they are waking up. Minds reach out today. Yeah. Yep. That's a good revelation, Sylvester. Yeah. Excuse me. So that's a good thing you brought up, Catherine. She said, my ordained isn't saved, but I believe I am the believing wife, because I was like, how can he be my ordained if unequally yoked? So let's start right there. That's why God steps in and creates a divine separation, because the two of you are unequally yoked, right? So, and that's where a lot of people, even like when we try to talk to our family and friends about it, that's why they quick to say, oh, that's not God. God, not the author of confusion. He's not. That's why he doesn't allow it to come together. That's why you're in a divine separation. That's why when we are hard-headed and we refuse to leave, when God say leave, that's why we get rejected over and over and over again, right? Because you're unequally yoked. So God is like, get over there. Let me separate you two. Let me go ahead and work on y'all, both of y'all, bring some correction, heal some hearts, take you through some deliverance. And then when I bring the two of you back together, now you're equally yoked. You're walking on one accord, right? So we need more of these conversations being had, so that more people can get that understanding. Janine said, don't focus on the counterfeit. Focus on your relationship with God first and foremost, and God will bring him back to you. Yep. If it's his will, he will. Yep. A counterfeit is just a distraction. My wife is not saved yet, as far as I know. Okay. Got to come back for the replay. Okay. God told me only he cleans from the inside out when I asked about them not being saved. Yeah. Yep. Can you explain spirit of divination? I could do a live on that. I'll write that down. It's not a good spirit, so I'll say that. Yeah, that's why I explained that, Catherine, because she was like, how could this man be for me if he isn't saved? But God, just like I told you, that's your spouse, because he's speaking the end result. He already know he's not saved now, but when I get done with him, he will be saved. He will be changed. He will be, the husband you already desire, Oh, okay, be blessed. Okay, I was like, Jim, why she keep putting Jim Ministry? Okay, Jared Event Ministry. I blocked my God-ordained spouse yesterday. I was in my feelings, and throughout that day, I felt him in my heart, which I was trying to avoid. Yeah, you probably felt how you felt after you blocked him. I want to know why my screen keep jumping like this. Be blessed that I blocked my God-ordained spouse so many times, and then God had me unblock him. It's not about feelings. Yeah. Crystal says, so sister, even I don't have a strong prayer life. Will my prayer still work if I pray against it? It sure will. Let me tell you something. You don't have to have a strong prayer life. Just pray. Whatever, because see, because God is going to meet you right where you are at, right? So you know, you can have a little prayer life. So God will say, okay, I'm gonna take that little, and God will teach you how to pray. He will help you to grow stronger in prayer. Okay. So he would take that little and work with you, and keep on pushing you, you know, into prayer. So um rebuke the enemy out of your ear telling you, you know, I don't got a strong prayer life. Just pray. Just pray. And prayer is so simple, um prayer isn't just you squatting, on your knees and put your hands together. No, you could pray when you're in your shower. You could pray when you're at the gym. You could pray when you're driving in your car. Prayer is communication with the Lord, right? So um you know I have so many stories, because like last year, I'll say this. Last year, at the beginning of last year, I kept hearing the Lord tell me, I need to learn how to fight in the spirit. And after the third time I heard him say that, I said, why you keep telling me this? Because I wasn't praying. I ain't had no prayer life then, right? The beginning of last year, I ain't had no prayer life. And I kept hearing God say, I need you to learn how to fight in the spirit, because he knew what was up ahead, right? That I was about to walk into. I just didn't know. So, and I still, even though he kept saying, I need you to learn how to fight in the spirit, I still didn't really understand what he was saying. Until when the enemy came for me, that's when I dropped to my knees and started praying. Okay. When that enemy came for me, I said, and I just spoke from my heart, and God used that. Okay. And he just began to teach me certain things, like how to move, because the enemy was really after me last year. So he just started teaching me. Sometimes he'd say, be quiet, don't say anything, then he'll tell me, okay, I need you to pray this, and he'll tell me what to pray. I pray it, right? So he'll take wherever you at and use it. Okay. Just pray. Yep. Best way not to get hurt or sad is to just ask God for confirmation. That's right. Set the captives free. My pastor had a dream that she was going somewhere and stopped to ask my mom if I had someone, and my mom replied, "Yes, he is where the sunrise." What does that mean? Is my kingdom spouse on the way? I can't interpret your pastor dream. I don't know. I need everything in that dream. For those of you who want some dream interpretation, head over to the website, God-ordained and click on coaching, and there's a dream interpretation coaching you can sign up for. The devil knows what we like. The flesh is willing. Yeah, all right. I just please sit down and don't touch anything. Khadija, she just preached the whole sermon, okay? She said half of us not even ready. If they did come back, it would be a hot mess. Let me tell you something. And that's why it could seem like God is taking so long, because we don't know what it means. For some of us, we don't know what it means to get ready. For some of us, we don't know how to start that healing process. We don't know, right? We don't know what we should be doing. That's why I put up that post a couple of weeks ago on I think I shared like 40 things to do while you're waiting on God. Like, we got work to do. Okay. We're not just sitting here just waiting and watching them. And no, we have work to do. Okay. You got to understand, like I said, this is a God ordained marriage. He don't want his marriages looking like the world. So one of the ways how his marriages can end up looking like the world, you get in this marriage and now the two of you are arguing, don't know how to communicate. You should have been learning how to communicate while you were waiting. You get in this marriage, now it's cheating going on, right? You should have been practicing self-control and discipline while waiting. You see what I'm saying? So we have work to do. We have work to do. Can you heal and go through deliverance together with them? Yeah, you can. Yep. Sure can. How do you not? How do you not lust after your God ordained spouse? I have a feeling that's why God has us in divine separation. Well, go through deliverance. You need deliverance from the spirit of lust. Okay, I'm gonna say something. Because when I hear certain things, my mind, the way how God programmed me, I can see the root of the problem. Okay. So sometimes when I say certain things, y'all might be like, huh? I can see the root of the problem. So go through deliverance. Okay. If you're dealing with lust, trying not to lust after your God ordained spouse, you want to go through that deliverance of the spirit of lust and all of its groupings attached to it, right? But now you got to move into healing, because sometimes that lust, it's really a void. It's really a need. I'm looking to get met. It can also be, if you were raped or molested, or abused somehow in your past, that attached itself to you, So you got to get freed of these things, okay? So it's not just a one, answer. Is you have to just go through inner healing and deliverance. And then you got to move into practicing self-control, self-discipline, putting boundaries in place so that, if I see my spouse and I know I'm attracted to them on that level to where now I'm considering sinning with them, I need to put boundaries in place, right? I really need to know myself that well to know I can't be alone with you or we're going to sin, right? So, but I would recommend you start with inner healing and deliverance. Invisible. I can't remember if is this your God ordained spouse you're talking about? I can't remember if you said it or not. You said, can I date other people until this person possibly says yes? I don't remember. If they have free will. Where is my free will here if I have to wait on them to say yes to God? So you're dealing with a prodigal? Clarify your question. Are you saying you have to wait for them to get back in right standing with the Lord before you can say yes to them? Sylvester said, wow, Tequila, you're right. That's the meaning of unequally yoked in the present, while God's showing us the future, because the spiritual is outside of time, but we're trying to manipulate it in time. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Crystal. I know. Just go ahead. I would create some distance with him and move into just healing from the things you went through with him. Oh, okay, that's SE. Okay, all right. Set the captives free. Okay, we have to let God do His will in time, so it's on time at the right time. That's right. That's right. Doing it God's way is the best way. I asked my God ordained spouse today, was he with anyone? And he said, yes, I have been. I have been. He said, it's been off and on again with the counterfeit. And he got mad and said, I don't want to talk about all this. He got mad, what? Because you've been with someone? It's probably too much. It's probably too much for him to take in. Then he said, look, I still have a soft spot for you. I'm sorry for getting irritated. I know, Sylvester. I think I know why my screen is jumping. And I was, I had took care of all that last night. I'm over here shaking. I'm over here making the devil mad because he been trying to comfort me, but I'm like, not today. Not today. I say prayer is not scripted. It's just talking to the Lord. I mean, it can be, but most time He wants the real you too. There are different prayers. Yeah, right. Yeah, prayer is communication. And He also want us to pray the scriptures back. 'Cause that's how we get His will, manifesting in our life. That's how we get the promises, and that's also how we see our prayers answered faster by praying the scriptures back to Him. Yes, this would be available for replaying. Yeah, I took the last live down because I have my reason why I took it down. It is real, Janine. You will gain a prayer life praying for your kid or spouse for sure. You sure will. You sure will. He said, I know. They go to screen jumping. He said, I know I love you, but I'm not mentally in a position to have you and the kids right now. He told me he was sorry for hurting me and told me again that he loves me. So that's a prayer point, Darlene. He's not in a and that's okay. So let me break this down. He told you this is her God-ordained husband, future husband, or maybe this your real husband, but he's a prodigal. But he told her he's not in a mental position to have her or the kids yet, right? And that he was sorry for hurting her again, and he loves her. So we see correction. We also see that the Lord has caused this man to sit down and take a look at his mental condition. He has become aware I'm not in the mental state to take on her and the kids. Now, you still acting like an immature, irresponsible person when you know you're not ready for all this stuff, but you do it anyway, and you don't care about anyone but yourself, and you just you damaging the kids, you damaging your wife, because you operate with that selfish spirit. He's not doing that. So that right there is growth. Okay. And I want you to pray. These are prayer points. So pray that God, he needs some more healing. Pray God heal him, heal the wounds in him. Pray that God will what's the word? Move him from being emotionally unavailable to mentally ready or mentally available, okay, to take on his wife and kids, okay? And whatever else God showed you, you want to pray that stuff out of him. What does SOM mean, Sylvester? Y'all be typing this stuff. I'll be like, what does that mean? You said I think that last live was more reassurance for Miss Tequila because I don't know what that means. Was with it. Oh, my son. I had to remember, son. Okay. Let me tell you. Yeah, that last live, I needed a distraction because that was a lot for me, to let my son go to a girl house. Then he came back like, what you think? I said, don't push it. Okay. That's what I think. Don't push it. I received so many prophecies and dreams about my future spouse and a counterfeit coming before I met him. I'm so confused. I don't know who is who right now. Rebuke when I say rebuke the counterfeit, you don't need to know who it is. Just say, I rebuke all counterfeits coming my way in the name of Jesus Christ. If two guys approach you or three or however many, God, can you reveal to me who is the God-ordained spouse? And the rest that are counterfeit, have them go away. Allow them to not contact me anymore. That's all you got to pray. And it will happen. This is what I do. When the counterfeits come, they don't even come anymore. I think they just like, I think they can see it like she got a shield over her. But that's all you have to do. And God would make it crystal clear. This is your God-ordained spouse. He will have them other ones stop calling you. When they stop calling, don't take it as rejection. That's God answering your prayer. Okay. What is the name of the video where you talked about the things we should do while we wait? I don't think I turned it into a video. It's a post. So let me see if I can find this post right quick. It's on, if you go to God-ordainedmarriages.com, click on blog, and I'm gonna tell you the title in 1 minute. Right here. It's called 40 Things to Do During Divine Separation, Waiting on God. So I'm going to just name off some. You can heal your rejection and abandonment wound. You want to release anger, resentment, and bitterness from your heart. Overcome insecurity, overcome loneliness, overcome fear, go through deliverance, break soul ties, break generational curses, learn the voice of God, establish boundaries, know what your personal standards are, and enforce them. Know your worth, learn your identity in Christ, become emotionally and mentally stable, develop your character, practice purity and self-control, break the orphan mindset and spirit, break free of people pleasing, build your faith, grow your confidence. Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot to be working on. Okay, while we are waiting, but it's over there on the blog. One second. And there's the link. Okay. Yeah, Krista. Yeah. Um, I told him that I already forgiven him and that I never stopped loving him and missing him. And whenever he is ready, I'm here with open arms. I don't know if God told him who I am to him yet. It sounds like it, but just wait on him. Just wait on it. Okay, y'all talking to each other. Okay. Okay. Is it possible for your kingdom spouse to marry someone else and have kids and they don't end up being together because you're their wife and God protects you from this happening? I'm gonna say this: if your God-ordained spouse marries someone else after God has told you this person is your spouse, listen, stop praying, okay? Because he just put himself in covenant, okay? I don't care if that was a counterfeit marriage or not. That's a covenant he just went into with the Lord. So, and God's not going to give you someone else's husband. So if he does that, that's on him. Let him, okay, let him do that, okay. And then you go back to your God and get your next instruction. That's how I would say that. Yeah, I call it dating fast because you take time away from relationship. Mhm. I just don't believe in dating once God reveals to you who your God ordained spouse is, because when you think about it, and maybe I just had this thought because I have 3 children, and I just learned my lesson. But my thinking is, if God told me this particular person is my God ordained spouse, and even if they're prodigal, even if they with the counterfeits, I don't care. Let's say a counterfeit looking good, okay, got everything I'm looking for, and let's say I do know they're counterfeit, I'm not going to give this counterfeit any of my time. You want to know why? Because I understand the purpose of a counterfeit. Counterfeits takes you away from your destiny. Counterfeits bring confusion and chaos. Counterfeits don't, some of them don't believe in God. Counterfeits will have your life in curses. So they I don't want that for my life, right? And then you're a counterfeit. So why would I entertain you? You see what I'm saying? Why would I waste my time with you when I could be over here building? I could be over here, in purpose, building my money, taking care of my home, taking care of my kids. I'm not going to waste my time on a counterfeit. I know you're a counterfeit because God already told me who my spouse is. I don't care if he is with another counterfeit. I'm going to pray you up out of that, And then you got to also understand when God say be loyal to your spouse, whatever you do to your spouse, you're doing it to God. So you're really being loyal to God, okay? And obedience is better than sacrifice. So my obedience is bringing blessings, okay? I'm going to birth blessings from my obedience. So I just don't give counterfeits any time or attention. I don't even give them the opportunity to even think they have a chance. I shut it down. That's right. Sylvester told you right. You have to release that man to God, even with the counterfeit, and all God has told you will come to pass. Yep. Definitely don't move ahead of God by even entertaining anyone not confirmed by him to do so. That's right. I'm at an age and stage in my life when I'm like, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time, to be dealing with foolishness. I just don't. I don't even have the patience, I just don't. Hey, Daniel. You're welcome, Krista. But Crystal, get clarification, okay? Because if that's not your God-ordained spouse, you can say some of those prayers, okay? I'm just saying. Go ahead and say some of those prayers. He might be sent to distract you, You might be about to meet your God-ordained spouse. I don't know what this really means, but I saw oil running down his face. His head was bowed. What's that in a dream? Anointing. That's the anointing. If that was in a dream, but you know. And I'll say this: if you all want to know what does this mean, like what does this dream mean? Because God is he's the one who gives the interpretation. Every time I have a dream, if I don't understand it, I go right to Google and I type in scriptures on. Let's say I had a dream of a dog. Scriptures on dog, and I look up what does all the scriptures say about dog, right? Scriptures on money. I need to see what they say because that's how I began to search out the answer, okay, to really see what God is saying to me, And there's other things like I usually can't interpret my dreams as soon as I wake up because it's just certain things I look for, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know what this is. Forever said, I see my God-ordained spouse interacting with counterfeits on Twitter, but not communicating with me. Yeah, he probably a prodigal. So go ahead and rebuke all those counterfeits. Listen, the reason why I put together the 90 days of prayer, because, well, for one, God told me to do it. But for two, I need you all to really understand what it means to pray. Like when we in this situation, you can't just pray one time and be like, okay, I'm just believing. You got to pray, okay? Pray without ceasing. You got to pray against everything the Lord is showing you. So each time you see a different counterfeit, that's your target. Pray her away. Pray him away. Rebuke and bind. Command that counterfeit to be removed and cast into the sea. Okay, I take authority. I be calling out counterfeit's name in my prayer. Okay, I don't play. So whatever God is showing you, he's not communicating with you. That's a prayer point. Open up communication, Lord. I rebuke the enemy that's blocking communication, that's causing him to not see me or even desire to communicate with me. That's a prayer point. So pray that over him and watch how God move. You're welcome, Cassandra. What if you're already married? My throat is so dry, y'all. What if you're already married and your wife has the attributes of Proverbs 5 woman? Of a Proverbs 5 woman? What is the Proverbs 5 woman? Do I need to open up my Bible and go to Proverbs chapter 5? Is that what you're telling me? I'm gonna do it just to see what Proverbs chapter 5 is saying. Okay. Warning against adultery. I ain't never heard someone say that like that. Proverbs 5:1, but that's gonna stick with me. Thank you, Matthew. So, what if you already married and your wife has the attributes of a Proverbs 5 woman? Number one, go to God. Go to God and ask God. Okay, this is what I'm dealing with my wife. You know, if you desire, if you want the marriage to work, go to God and ask God. You know, what do you want me to do? Do you want to restore this marriage, or can I go ahead and walk away? God will give you instruction. Okay. Even if he knows you, he don't know it's you yet. Yeah, that's true. When I tried to leave my prodigal kingdom spouse alone, he keeps pursuing me and won't leave, and his life turns to shambles when I leave. All hell breaks out, and he can't seem to function, but still with counterfeit. Yeah, and he probably know you're his God-ordained spouse. But here's the thing: if he's still with counterfeits and you leave and he try to pursue you, you keep that door closed to him, okay? Because each time you open that door and he's still with the counterfeit, right? Let's say when he reach out to you, he come pursuing you after you left, and he tell you I ain't with them, right? And then you open the door back up to him, only to later find him with a counterfeit next week. Close the door and don't open it back up to him until the Lord tells you, okay, go ahead and open up, the door to him, okay? Because you got to understand, you're giving him no reason to, like, let's take away the prodigal and all that stuff. You're giving him no reason to see your value or even commit to you. You accepting him. You allowing him to have access to you and be with a counterfeit. That's too many benefits. Okay. He got to choose. You can't. I say this all the time. You can't be afraid to leave these God ordained spouses. Okay, even if they are prodigal, you can't be scared. You can't be afraid to let them have the counterfeits. Okay, you got to shake their world up so that they know. You got to put them in a position where they like, I don't want the counterfeit, right? But I want my God ordained spouse, but I got to make a decision. That's where you want to have them. Okay, so that it forces them into understanding your life is better with your God ordained wife, not a counterfeit. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Okay. This is how you help a man to see your value. But if you allow him to have you and a counterfeit, he see you just like a counterfeit. Okay. He's going to keep you in rotation with these other counterfeits, and you're going to keep going through this circle. So, mm-mm. Yeah. So Crystal said the enemy really out to get our kingdom spouses. He hates kingdom marriages because it would bring damage to his kingdom. Right. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I had got this revelation when I was mentoring the single moms, right? Um, I was mentoring abandoned single mothers, they were abandoned while pregnant. And I had the revelation, if the enemy can remove the fathers out of the children's lives, out of the home, there is no home. Now we're raising broken children, right? And then you got the friend of the court, that's they make it seem like they on our side, the single mom. Oh, you could put him on child support, but we hold him financially accountable, but not, he don't got to be in a child's life. We allow that. That's what they basically saying when you really look at that system. So I began to get that understanding a long time ago when I was mentoring the single mothers. The enemy is after our man. And there's a lot of men who want to change for the better, but they don't know how. They don't know how to change. They don't even know what the problem is. They don't even know. Some of these guys don't even believe in God, but yet out of their mouth they saying, "Oh, I'm a believer. I'm a man of God." They never heard God's word. They don't even know Him, right? So when we apply this to the God ordained marriages, yes, the enemy is coming after these God ordained future husbands. Because if I can if I can move the husband out of the picture, there would never be a marriage, right? There would never be a marriage. To remove the husband is to remove the protection, is to remove identity. Think about it. The role of a father, right? Because husband takes on the role as a father. But the role of a father is to give his children, well, first he gives his wife his last name. So that's identity. He gives the children their last name. He's the protector. He's the provider, right? So the enemy noticed, he's like, I'm going to target these men and I'm going to use Jezebel. I'm going to have these women dress up real seductive because I understand these men are not practicing self-control and discipline and they are being led by their eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and position her right in front of him to lead him astray, right? So that I can remove him out of his wife's life and then out of his children's life. And what do we have? Broken families. We see marriages ending in divorce, right? And God knows this. That's why He's taking back His marriages. That's why. Yeah. And this is why we have to be, it can seem like it's unfair because God is requiring for us, the believing spouse, to do all this praying over our spouses. And we're like, well, they're not praying for me. But you got to really understand, it's not about all of that. It will come a time where they will pray over you. But right now, God needs us on our posts because the enemy is trying to, tear down these men, take them away, remove them out of the household and out of your children's lives. How old are you, Sylvester? It only distracts you and confuses you when you're dating, waiting for God ordained husband. God is not the author of confusion. And that's another reason why I won't date, because I'm like, I don't want to be confused, you know. Yep. She said, preach girl, be lawyer. Yeah. You can say that again. Why entertain counterfeit? Yeah. God woke me up. How long I've been on here? Oh, Lord, it's going on. It's coming up on 2 hours. God woke me up this morning at 6:57 a.m. John 6:57. Just as the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father. Excuse me. So the one who feeds on me will live because of me. We were all sent to our spouses. That's right. Mm-hmm. Don't think I'm ignoring y'all. If you come back with a follow up from a previous comment you posted, I can't even remember it. I have to type the whole thing back over. God has shown my wife we are meant to be together with many signs and dreams, yet I haven't had any yet. God has shown my wife. Oh, God has shown your wife. Okay. That might not be the way how God speaks to you. God might want to speak to you, it could be other ways, like I said, he speaks to me through peace. So peace can be a sign, that God is speaking to you and like this is my wife, right? You just got to figure out, how does God speak to me, and ask him. Go to God in prayer and ask God, okay, can you teach me your voice? Because I don't see any signs. I'm not getting any dreams. I'm not getting any vision. Lord, can you teach me your voice? Give me a sign, and he will give it to you. But it's many ways. Sometimes God can speak to you through his prophets, other people, right? It could be through pastor. It could be through a child. Okay. You just gotta just be in tune and knowing that this is the voice of God when it's speaking. She said, girl, you are drinking my God ordained spouse favorite water. This is size. Uh, he also told me that he don't have intentions of marrying me anymore, that it wasn't God who spoke to him, it was his flesh, and that we can choose whoever we marry. Yeah, if that's that same guy, I put your, look what Tony guys can say, put your track shoes on and go ahead and run. And that's a learning lesson too. That's a learning lesson for you, because if now he's telling you the truth, that was just his flesh, and he was like putting all that pressure on you in the beginning. That's a learning lesson. So the next guy you meet and they try to rush you or put this pressure on you, you like, wait a minute, I learned that from the last guy. I'm not gonna fall in that trap, right? So all of what he's showing you, telling you, oh, I heard God say you my wife. I'm learning this lesson. Just learn from it. Let's try to say run. But he was so sure at first. Yeah. No, he probably just wanted to get you in the bed. Not saying he did, but he probably just said that to get you in the bed. I did several daily prayers in my journal, and God started sending confirmation. The more I pray, the more I see confirmation. So I know it's my God ordained. It's daily confirmation. There you go. There you go. So keep on recording those in your journal. Yeah. Hey, Lakia. Yep, it was good. Keep them on block. That divine separation shows your value for real. It does. And when we are in our purpose, we are the happiest alone with God and become ready for what every marriage He got for us. That's right. Mm-hmm. And that's a man speaking. He just said it. Divine separation shows your value. It does. Mm-hmm. What prayer should I pray if I speak with my spouse? He is nice to me privately, but then later in front of her being rude. Oh, that's a lot. You want to pray against the spirit of rudeness. Okay. You also want to pray against deception. You want to pray against that lion spirit. You want to pray against it was another one. Oh, people pleasing. Okay. Cause that's what he's doing. He over there lying to her. Oh, I don't like her. I'm not with her. But when he's in front of her, he changing up. Okay. So, you know, and let's say he be rude to you in front of other people. Okay. You trying to please these people. Okay. So go ahead, hit all the ones I just named. Rejection as well, but also block them if you feel like it. Cause I go to the extreme, but it's worth it. I go to the extreme because what you're not about to do, okay? Let's take all this God ordained out of this. What you're not about to do to me is be one way with me in private, but then rude to me in front of other people. I don't care if that is a counterfeit. This will be the last time you will be rude to me. So this is where your standards come into place at. So you already know how that rudeness make you feel. So go ahead and put a boundary there. And when he said, well, why are you responding like that? Why are you acting funny or whatever he say? Then you tell him. You tell him, like, I didn't like that. I didn't appreciate, you being rude to me. And when it's just you and I, you nice, you all lovey-dovey, all up in my ear saying all this stuff. But when you're in front of these people, you want to change up. I ain't for it. I'm telling you, you don't gotta do it like how I'm doing it, because I just get so hyped with mine. But you gotta communicate that to him so that he can start respecting you as a woman. Okay. I'm telling you, he has to separate you in his mind. Like, I can't do this with her. I could probably play these games with these counterfeits, but not with her. He have to separate you. Thank you, SE. How are we certain? Okay, the screen jumping. Wait a minute. How are we certain when we reunite with our ordained, it won't be no back and forth BS? Because I ain't got time for that. You're certain. You're not certain. You're not putting your trust in your God ordained spouse. It goes back to what is this? This is a God ordained marriage. Throughout this whole stance, God is building your faith. He's building your trust. He's showing you things. He's showing you, like, I'm correcting him. He's showing you I'm changing him. He's showing you I removed the counterfeit. All of that should be building your trust. If it's not, the problem is going on with you. So you might got to go through some deliverance and some inner healing, okay? Because it's like you're in your own way. So that this stance is going to build your trust, right? And understand, and then it also has to do with you understanding God. Because I have fears at times. Like, this was my fear. I'm gonna be honest. I had this fear back in April. I'm always 100 with God. I was like, look, I hear you. I said, God, I know you told me this is my spouse. You got me here praying and standing. I was like, but I said, you also know what I've been through in my past. I said, if he come back this way, I don't want him. I told God that. And God knew why I said that, because I can't say the other part, but I was like, I don't want the old tequila to come out. I don't even want to go through what I went through again in the past. So, and I told God, I said, so I'm dependent on you to change him and make him, like mold and shape him, because you know what I need, Lord. And God, he heard me. And he before I even said that prayer, he was already giving me dreams of my spouse, and how he would be once God restored him and change him. But I think I just need to get that out to the Lord. Like, I need you to understand this, okay? Because I'm not going to go through this again, right? And so, and now that, God giving me these dreams and stuff, my God ordained spouse, he's not even a prodigal anymore. So I'm speaking from experience, okay? God really does keep his word, and he's not going to send them back. If you take back a God ordained spouse and they come back hurting you again, that's because you moved out of time. That's because you heard wrong. You didn't hear God say it's time to start back talking to them. Okay? So you have to, it goes back to, I need to learn my Father's voice. I need to know when he tell me it's time for me to, if you got them unblocked, it's time for me to unblock them. It's time for me to let them back into my life, right? Because when we go ahead of God and we let them back in, we get hurt again. They start, with this foolishness again. And then you're like, God, you second guessing God when God never told you to take them back, at that time. So just understanding, you got to understand God. I mean, you got to know God for yourself. You got to know his characteristics. You got to know he is for you. Okay. He's not a back and forth God. He's not a halfway God. I'm going to just halfway restore it. I'm going to get him a little spanking and that's it. Nah, he going to get them right. They will know. Okay. They will know I can't do this. I have to change. Okay. I don't know no other way to say it, but I went to God and I had that conversation with the Lord. I was like, I said, because I was very honest. I said, because if it happened again, it's going to pull out another tequila. And I got 3 kids I need to be here to take care of. So I don't want to go that route, And I was just honest with the Lord. I was like, I'm not even sure if it happened again that I will still be sitting here praying. I might turn it to a prodigal. I'm just being honest, so you just got to be honest with the Lord and have that conversation with him and let him know this is where I'm at. These are the things I've been through and I'm dealing with. And this is what I'm expecting, and God, he liked that. He'll talk back to you. And here's another thing. Because I know God has my back, right? And I'm going to tell you how I know this, because last year, this was around December, it was some family members plotting. I couldn't figure out who, but I knew it was coming from my family. But they were plotting and they was doing some witchcraft on me. And before I could even, you know how you be thinking stuff in your head, before I could even take my thoughts to the Lord, he said to me, he said, Tequila, I'm not going to allow anyone to get over on you. I said, well, there we go. Because he was giving me reassurance, you know. He was letting me know, I hear the thoughts you're thinking about your family. I see what they're doing. I'm not even going to allow them to get over on you. So that right there be telling me, it's like confirmation, like God has my back. He loves me. He's not going to let anyone get over on me, including my husband. So just start there. Sylvester, he said he's 21. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Built-in Fire said, if you hold them accountable, does this make us look more valuable to them? Let me tell you what accountability does to a man. Now, I'm just talking about with a man. When you hold a man accountable, take away all the prodigal stuff. When you hold a man accountable, it helps him to grow up and mature. Some of these guys who are, you see the insecurities can show up with multiple women, okay? The insecurity can show up with all this name brand stuff. This is where they get their identity from. Okay, just flashy, you know. So when you see these guys, they're insecure, irresponsible, not taking care of their kids, they lying to you, deceiving you, hold them accountable. And it's a whole. I had a whole course on this. But when you hold him accountable, if this man care for you, because it's not going to work on just any man. If he don't care for you, he gonna be like whatever, and he gonna keep it moving. But if this particular man care about you and he value, you know, just whatever you're saying, he's going to listen, and that accountability is going to help him to mature to that next level. It's going to help him to see where he is falling short at. It's going to help when, you know, it's going to help an absent father become a present father when you hold him accountable. It also, like you said, it helps them to see more of your value. Because think about it. Who is holding men accountable these days? It's a small percentage of women. You hold a man accountable by not entertaining him when you find out he's in a situation with a counterfeit. I'm holding you accountable to getting out of that relationship and pursuing me the right way, the way how I deserve. You hold a man accountable when he tell you out of his mouth, oh, I'm a man of God, I believe in God, but then you see the darkness, the fruit of darkness being manifested through him. You hold him accountable to the God he say he served. I need you to check your fruit, and I need you to get back in right standing with the Lord. You don't say that, but your action is communicating this to him. So accountability does a lot of things to a man when you know how to hold him accountable. Okay. This is what I was teaching in the single mother community with these absent fathers. And this is why we have a lot of absent fathers, because the court hold them financially accountable, but who's holding this man to be accountable to his children? And I'm gonna just stop right there because I could go all off into something else, but I'm not. I had a dream I was being forced for marry someone, and he put a necklace on me. Just go ahead and rebuke that demonic spirit that's trying to attach itself. Rebuke every counterfeit coming your way. Diamonds, and I took it off and said, I got a husband, sir. It felt witchcraft, and I rebuked it. Right. Yep, you did exactly right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is it normal to feel heavy? Is it normal to feel a heavy feeling for them coming from their end? Yeah, because we can feel their emotion. We can feel what they're feeling. Sometimes I get waves of heavy emotion thinking he is waking up and going through things. Also, sometimes thinking maybe a soul tie. It could be both. But more than likely, you probably just feeling what he's feeling. If it's real heavy, like depression, go ahead and rebuke that off of him. You know, I just rebuke the spirit of depression, off of me and my God ordained spouse in the name of Jesus Christ. And see, sometimes when I say this stuff, because I know the grouping, so I'd be like rejection, sadness, disappointment. I go all in. So whatever you're feeling, if it's too heavy, oppression, go ahead and rebuke that off of your God ordained spouse. He does talk like a grown man. Well, he is grown. He's 21. Mm-hmm. I miss my spouse though. It's 2 months today. If our separation, I drive by his parents' house almost every day, unintentionally, and I see his car. He said it pee her off. Yeah. Let's see. He might speak to you through a song. Yep. He places a song down in spirit, and there is usually a scripture attached to the amount of minutes the song is. God does this with me all the time. Okay, yep. He's starting to speak to me through song. Yeah. That's facts. My wife is saying how she could have married a better husband than me, and that was after she got her own place. Your wife has some unhealed wound going on inside of her. I would look at you all, this for everyone. These prodigals, okay? It's the same. You want to look at, okay, what are they unhealed wounds, they dealing with, right? Father wound, mother wound. You got to get them talking if you can, so you can learn about their history. What were the things, Matthew, what were the things your wife experienced and went through in her past? What is her relationship like with her father? Dig deep in there, because you will discover the root to why she is now behaving the way how she is with you. Okay. And as you begin to uncover these things, that's your prayer point. That's what you target in prayer. God, heal my wife, heal her mother and father wound, heal the wound that came when she was raped or abused or molested, right? Heal the wound when she was rejected the first time, right? So you just want to really go in there, but she's hurting. She's hurting. Yeah. And the same way how they try to reject us is the way how they've been rejected in the past. So you see how she's saying how she could have married somebody better. Yeah, it was a guy who probably said that to her, or chose in her mind someone better than her. So now she's repeating what was done to her, to you. How long have you been in the separation? Forever? Uh, yeah. You better rebuke that pride, Sylvester. He said, I'm trying not to let the pride get to my head. Uh, she boosting up your ego. Yeah. Come on, Janine. God is not going to lead you where he can't protect you. That's right. That's right. He's not going to lead you. That's why the divine separation happened. He's not going to lead you where you're going to be afflicted and hurt all over again and betrayed. He's not going to lead you there. Mm-mm. That's why he said separate. That's why he came in there and caused that separation. Say, show is it? Uh, can you tell God you don't want your ordained spouse if he is the ex? You can tell him all day long, but let me tell you something. When God said this is your spouse, that's it. That's the final say so. I know people want to talk about the free will, but let me tell you something. God is going to make it to where when he say that's your God ordained spouse, everyone have a calling on their life, okay? So he's telling you this your God ordained spouse. I picked this person. One of the reasons is so that they can help you to fulfill the calling that's on your life. Okay. You just got to figure out what is that calling, right? So, so that's telling you no matter how I feel, he could be my ex, he could be with a counterfeit, he could have hurt me so bad in the past. God is like, I don't care. This is my marriage. He's like, this is my marriage. I created both of you to come together for this specific purpose. I have something for the two of you to do or birth in this world, and he's going to have his way. That's what we don't understand. God is going to have his way. He allow us to have the temper tantrum. He allow us to be prodigal. He allow us to say, I don't want him. And we stop praying for 3 months. He'd be like, okay. And then when he's ready for you, he come back and he might give you a little hope, get you right back in the game. That's it. So you could tell him, and God gonna be like, okay. Mm-hmm. He's gonna come back and encounter you in a way that's gonna like reactivate you right all over again. Yeah, Angie said, right. That's what I told God too. Don't send him back till you worked on him, God, because it's not going to be good. Uh, due to taking care of a father that's sick. Yeah. I was just being honest, I was like, I'm trying to walk right. Like, I'm just trying. How do you know if someone is doing witchcraft and can they do it unintentionally? Yeah, because sometimes witchcraft is just operating in control or manipulative ways, and sometimes you're not even aware. I speak for myself. I used to be very controlling, and I was just unaware of it. Um, but how do you know if someone is doing witchcraft on you? I usually know. I'm like, this is something God is growing in me, but I usually know because God tells me, he'll show me in a dream. But sometimes, other times, I get headaches, or I get sick, or um, I'm just very in tune with me and my life. So if let's say my finance starts slowing down for no reason, I know something is going on. I know somebody doing something, right? So that's something, I would say probably you might want to read some books on it. But God usually showed me in a dream. He showed me the person. He be telling on people. He showed me the people, the person that's doing it, what they doing, and he'll tell me how to pray out of it or break the curse. Yep. And your silence is a weapon. It sure is. That's right. After Kingdom Spouse go through that beating from God, he's going to get right. Yeah. Because he's going to recognize, see, um, it's going to be like a Saul to Paul experience because product when you're a prodigal, you got scales over your eyes. You have a mind of no understanding, right? And I know when we dealing with them, we're like, he know what he doing, right? But they really don't. They really don't. It's a spirit called distortion that would come in there and distort everything you just said to this man to where now he hear a different way, right? And you looking at him and you like, I know he know what I'm saying. That's a spirit that's influencing, that mind. So, you know, when God take them through whatever he got to take them through to humble them, they'll come back right. Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Are we more attractive? Hold on. Are we more attractive when we hold them accountable? Because I do this. Yep, you're more attractive. And I'm just take the prodigal off, okay? I'm just talking about just dealing with a man in general. You're more attractive when you hold him accountable, when you know your value as a woman, when you know your standards, and you're not afraid to enforce your standards to him. You have boundaries in your life. When you really just living your life and you just looking at him, you interacting with him like, okay, I want you, but I'm not going to chase you, you know. It's like an invitation for him to come into your life, but you focus on you and your life. That's what's attractive. Um, and you're confident, about who you are. You know who you are. You know those things. I try to focus in on when I'm mentoring women. I try to focus in on knowing what your standards are, building boundaries. Like you got to know what your boundaries are. You can't be afraid to enforce your standards with a man. You know, if he leaves, so what? Thank you. You just, save me, some heartache and pain, right? Um, and really being confident, knowing who you are, being secure with yourself. That's what I like to focus in on, because that's the opposite of what you see in this world. That's the opposite. Because you're taking control over your life and showing him you value yourself and not willing to tolerate just anything. That's right. Because counterfeit, and let me just stop saying counterfeit. Most women, okay, I'm just being honest here. Most women, we tolerate things. We tolerate the lies. We know he lied. You hear it in your intuition. You like, I know you got all the proof. You come on now. We know we could be the best detectives, okay? We got the proof. He lied, but we sit there and tolerate it. That's where we go wrong at. And when you sit there and tolerate it, when you bite your tongue, you don't call him out, okay? When you don't call him out, when you know he wrong, and you let it slide, you telling him, continue to do this to me. Continue to do this. I'm gonna sit here and take it. Continue to not see my value. So he gonna continue to give it to you, right? So when you change and I just, the stuff I went through with these baby daddies, I was like, you know what? You gonna come correct. That's just my attitude. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna check you. Okay. I'm gonna get you together. That's just my attitude with any man. Okay. You could be an uncle, brother, cousin, whoever, friend. You gonna come correct if you want to be in this life over here. So just don't tolerate it. Mm-hmm. Is an engagement ring from my God-ordained spouse bad? Nah. But I could have just left it right there, but I'm not. It's not bad if your God-ordained spouse gives you an engagement ring, but it becomes bad when he gives you an engagement ring and he's with the counterfeits. Or it's going on 5 years and you still engaged. Red flags. Okay. So, oh, it was in a dream. Oh, okay. Nah. You probably saw him proposing to you in a dream. That's God showing you what is up ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Sylvester. He says, attracted to your God-given person specifically because they built for you. It is. And they want you, Sylvester. I know you're 21, but you're a man. You know this. What do a man find attractive? Before I even say it, what do men, besides the body, what is attractive to a man? What separates this woman from the rest? Okay, Florence said, I felt heavy emotions on his end. And felt, hold on, what's the day? Wednesday? 7. Okay, I had to make sure I hadn't have anything to do. Okay. I felt heavy emotions on his end and felt as if he was coming closer, awakening, but then I looked on his and his whom I believe to be counterfeit current partner and got upset and triggered. The emotion doesn't mean he's coming closer to you. It just means God is allowing you to feel his emotion. One second. It's just God just allowing you to feel what he is going through over there. Okay. Um and don't look at the counterfeit page, because you're going to get upset, you're going to get triggered. The counterfeit's job, the same way how it's the enemy's job to steal, kill, and destroy, the counterfeit's job is to keep you upset and keep you away. So you don't want to look at their page, okay? Okay. For about a year, okay. Sometimes I feel upset and like I miss him deeply and cry and feel his torment. Yeah. So and you could pray against that. Pray against the mental torment he might be up under. That's probably his that's probably coming I don't know if it's the wrath of God, it could be the wrath. Yeah. For his disobedience, he's being tormented until he repent, of his sin. Close the blinds for me. He said we never got together. Okay. Um, I said that I know he watches what I do on social media sometimes. Yeah. So go ahead and let him watch you. Is somebody knocking on my door? I'm gonna keep going. I think somebody knocking at my door. These kids. We never even started dating, but known each other for a year. Okay. Well, stay in that. Just stay building. Being his friend, if that's where y'all at right now. Yeah, Crystal. I wouldn't even go back and forth with that man. Yep, built in fire. She said God told me to hold him accountable, and he will start to see me in a different light from the counterfeit. He will. He will. Because they just accept anything from him. And then, like I was saying, it's so many. It just accountability works. That's just one thing I know. Holding man accountable works. Okay, it really does. They might not like it. They might try to resist it. Get mad at you. I'm still holding you accountable because I know it worked. And I have the mindset when I'm holding you accountable, I'm holding you accountable to becoming your best self. So there's nothing wrong with holding a man accountable, because I want you to be your best self. I don't want you to stay a prodigal. I don't want you to continue to be in the, uh, messing with all these counterfeits, you all in fornication. No. So I'm going to hold you accountable to where you're stepping into becoming your best self. I see the best in you, and I'm going to pull it out of you. And this the way I have to do it. You say my God ordained asked me if I knew what my calling was, but he wouldn't mention he was the one. He would just hint here and there. Well, take the focus off of him mentioning that he's your God ordained and just look at what he's asking you. Do you know what your calling is? Because maybe, let's just say, he know what his calling is, and let's say God has given him eyes to see your calling, and he sees how it could come together. But he don't want to say that to you. Maybe he want you to arrive to it, and because he might have a fear of rejection going on in him. So just look at what he's saying to you. Do you know what your calling is? If you don't, it's tell him, like, if that's the case, be like, no, I think it might be this and that, but I'm unsure. What do you think? Put it back on him and see what he's saying. Yeah. Sean, he said, I was told, she said, I was told when your light's flickering is a sign witchcraft is being done on the person. I know why my computer acting up. I'm over here making the devil mad. Thank you, Sylvester. He said I'm hilarious. I didn't see you answer my question. Or maybe I didn't get to it yet, Sylvester. Or maybe that's why you're saying I'm hilarious. That's right, Janine. She said yes. And when God told me to move so I could deal with him, I got out the way. That's right. Because when God say move, that means, he probably pouring out his wrath on them. And now he's like, I'm about to protect you, daughter Janine. Get out the way because I don't want my wrath to hit you. But my son is up under my wrath now. Yeah. Because when God told me to leave, I did leave physically, but I didn't leave mentally. I still was checking, and I was getting some of that wrath, okay, from the Lord. Okay, hold on. I gotta find my place, y'all. This thing is this thing is acting up. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yep. Y'all belong together, built in fire. Could it be that some women do not know that they're counterfeit? It could be, but then I'm gonna tell you something. When a counterfeit comes in contact with the real one, she knows she a counterfeit. She might not use them words counterfeit, but she know he like her more than me. She knows something. It's something different. Even if, like, let's say y'all were just friends, she's gonna pick up on that energy. Okay, she's gonna pick up on how he interacts with her, the real one, differently, than with the counterfeit. So they might not say counterfeit, but they would know. Because this is how I see it in my mind. I'm gonna tell you my experience. I knew, well, no, I ain't gonna say it that way. Let me see. The counterfeits knew who I was. And the way how they knew who I was because of the spirit that is in me. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying like I was better than them. I'm more anointed than them. No. Spirits recognize spirit. Okay. At the name of Jesus, every spirit, every demon got to bow. Right. So when I was on the scene and these counterfeit, would pop up and some would try to go toe to toe with me, but they couldn't stay in my sight too long. They had to bow. Okay. So they knew who I was, which is why the enemy came for me. It was targeting me. It was whispering lies in his ear and trying to tell him this and pull him away from me. So counterfeits, aka the spirits that are in operation through this counterfeit that is influencing them to behave in counterfeit ways, it recognized the anointed one. I'll say it that way. That's right, Essie. She said, I told my God ordained he's not used to having someone tell him no, I will be the first. That's right. Yep. Yep. You're welcome. And man, he would tell if people talking about you as well, right? Who talking? He would tell if people talking about you as well as who's talking, and sometimes what be saying. Yep, he be telling on them. God tell us the whole story. He does. He'll tell on you. He will. I think Sylvester is the only man on this live tonight. No, we had another one, Matthew. Yeah, yeah. That's right. And some of the women know they counterfeits because when God, there's a certain point you would get in this divine separation, this stance where God will begin to speak to the counterfeit and tell the counterfeit, let my son or daughter go. You with the wrong one. You know, he might say it however way he say it, but he's gonna make it known to that person, this isn't the one. Let him go. You know. And they might wrestle with God. They might, if they know who the real one is, the God ordained spouse, that's where the pride come into play. That's where I don't want to lose. It turns into a game now. So it's crazy. Hey, baby doll. No, that's not what I'm saying. She's Joy, I think that's how Joy. She said he or she, I think it's a woman. So are you saying that I have to wait so and so many years until he turns? Okay, it's a woman. Until he turns and repent and changes. No. Understand. Okay. I might say you're hear us saying, you hear people saying, God has me standing praying for my God ordained spouse. That doesn't mean I'm just putting my life on hold. No. What this means, this whole thing we're talking about here, what it means is I'm obedient to what God told me to do. He told me to pray for my God ordained spouse. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, after I finish praying, I got work to do. If you have children, I got to take care of these kids, right? If God telling you, if you in purpose, I need to be in purpose and building my business, right? I'm not going to put my life on hold waiting on him. Now, when it come down to dating, listen, I was sharing my belief, okay? Like God did tell me to be loyal to my God ordained spouse, but I also knew when God was saying that to me, God was really telling me be loyal to God. So I told God, I said, I'll be loyal to you. I had to clarify it back to the Lord. I said, I'll be loyal to you, because at that time when God told me that I was still hurting. So, but then I also have this other belief. I'm not entertaining a counterfeit because I know they're counterfeit. Do you understand that? So it's not the mindset I'm putting my life on hold and I gotta wait, or no, I'm not entertaining a counterfeit because my level of belief in the Lord is so high to where I believe what he said. He said, this is my spouse, that person right there. So I'm not going to entertain these other people that's springing up. Even if it's been, I don't care how long it's been. This is just me. I'm not. Okay, this is where I'm at in my life. Before God even revealed who my God ordained spouse was to me, I told God, I'm done with man. I really was. I said, I'm done. I don't want to date. I just want to focus on my kids, you, and my purpose. That's it. And then right after I said that, he was like, go over there. Let me write to him. So you're not waiting, you just praying for him. And then you going on about your business. I hope that's clear. Okay, Sylvester said it's her mind. I asked him the question, what do men find attractive in a woman? He said it's her mind and heart, which is really her soul, which makes her unique. If her soul in Christ's spirit and know her purpose, what she wants and is about, what she wants and is about. That is very attractive and scary to weak men. That's true. That is, now you see how he said all of that is scary to a weak man. It's true. Yep. Now what he didn't say, what he finds um to be confident, or attractive of a woman is her body appearance. He didn't say anything about that. He focused in on her soul, her relationship with the Lord, her purpose. That's what's attractive. What spirit is on him if they don't like you praying over their body? Like it gets them mad. Well, that's it. If you can name the spirit, if you can name what it's doing to them, that's the spirit. So go ahead and rebuke that, call it out. It's just that spirit, because sometimes these demonic spirits can be in a person for so long to where now they start thinking like they start what's the word? It's like territorial, like this my house. How someone would be like, this my man, and they ain't even married. They just take like it's that territorial spirit come upon them and they refuse to leave out of the person. So that's where you got to stay on it. You can't just pray or you can't just do deliverance one time. You got to keep at it every single day. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, Florence. She said, I don't talk. Oh, you don't talk to anyone, or your friends about it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Samantha said, but unbelievers would just say personality. And you know why I think they say that? Because a lot of people don't really, God just giving me a mind to understand a lot of stuff. I just think a lot of people just don't really take the time to really process it and understand it. Like, what am I really attracted to? Like, I don't think people take the time out to really get to know themselves or even figure out what they really is attracted to. They just roll with the flow, just go with it. I'm the type I need to understand everything. I be like, give me understanding about that, Lord. I need to understand that. But why did this happen? And why is this? I'm always asking questions. I asked to show me my ordained spouse even while I'm fasting. He didn't show me. My daughter is 8 years. So we separated 2 years ago and he was messy and in darkness by choice. So I'm single for life. Well, I wouldn't claim that. You don't got to be single for life. You just single for right now. I get what you're saying. That's right. Florence said it. Yeah, I tried moving on, but can't forget him. I tried moving on to other men, and it tortured me and realized they were agent from the enemy. Yeah, Jezebel. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's just the revelation I have. Like, why would I waste my own time with a counterfeit? I know you a counterfeit. And I actually had that question asked to me by this lady. She was like, I had shared with her just some of this. And she was like, so you mean to tell me if a nice looking man, was presented before you, he had all the qualities you're looking for, treated you right, you would turn him down? I said, no, or maybe she said, how would I respond? I think that's what she said. And I told her this. I said, this is how I would respond, because I do this with a lot of them. I say, if he was able to catch my attention to where he now has my number and he is calling me, I said, I would ask him right off the bat, the first day he called, so what is your purpose? Most men can't answer that. But if he can answer that, I told her, I said, I'm going to listen to what he say his purpose is, right? And based upon that, it's going to help me to determine, like, because I was talking to her from the standpoint, because the way how she asked the question, if I didn't know for sure my God ordained was my God ordained, and then God presented this other person, I was telling her, I'm gonna take him through this process. What is your purpose? Okay. And then, based off his answer, that's going to let me know right there if I see myself in his vision, are we heading in the same direction? Because in his purpose, I should hear God. I should hear, like where we are heading, are we heading down the same path, the same direction? And I said, and based off of that, I'm gonna let him know if it's a go or not, you know. But that was, but I had went back and told her, I was like, but I know who my God ordained spouse is, so he's not even gonna get the number. He's not, because he's a counterfeit. Nope, forever. She said, should I just go ahead and tell him that God said he's my future spouse? Nope, because if you tell him God told you he's your God ordained husband and God haven't revealed that to him yet, he's going to feel like you're trying to trap him into being your husband, and he's going to pull it back from you. Okay. Then let's say God have revealed that to him. He just haven't said it to you yet. And you approach him with, God said, you're my future spouse. If he's wrestling with God, if he's a prodigal and he's wrestling with God, it's going to seem like he's rejecting you, but he's really rejecting God, because he haven't made peace with whatever he's upset and mad at God at. So he's going to reject whatever God is telling you about him, if that makes sense to you. So don't tell him. Let God reveal it to him. Oh, okay. Okay. Said, I don't think he is my ordained husband. I just would hate for it to be. Okay. Rejection keeps popping in my mind. Okay, we'll rebuke it. And if it's popping in your mind concerning your God ordained spouse, go ahead and break it up. Everyone struggle with rejection. Yeah. That's one of the enemy's tactics, because you got to understand, the devil, he was the first demonic spirit that was kicked out of heaven, which means he was an orphan, which means he know what rejection feels like. He hated. He's forced to live without a family. That's his goal for God's children. So go ahead and just rebuke that. Okay, I'm going to answer a few more, then we're going to bring this to an end. So yes, the pain I'm feeling from his end is his suffering for wrongdoing. Oh, okay. Well, you can still pray for him, Florence, if that's what you're feeling from him, his suffering from wrongdoing. Still pray for him. God is going to use your prayers to wake him up. Okay? And I'm not saying as soon as you pray, that means God is acting. No. When he repent for his wrongdoing, and because he got to repent, and then he got to be consistent in that repentance, okay? Because sometimes we'll repent and then go right back to doing the same foolishness, right? But he got to repent and show God, I'm serious. I'm maintaining my repentance, right? And then that's when God, this is how I see it, that's when God use your prayers and begin to move them into waking up. No. Okay. Patricia said, me and my God ordained spouse don't communicate at all. Is it okay for me to text him on Facebook sometime? No. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying no. If you're not communicating at all, it's a reason for that. So I don't know why you're not communicating, but if you're not communicating because, one reason could be divine separation. God cut the communication off. Or it could be the enemy, that's blocking communication. Or it could just be him, giving communication to someone else, right? So what you don't want to do is come in and start texting him, because he going to go along with it. He going to text you back. He going to send a message back, but if he's not really there, if he's not really texting you for the right reasons, he's ready to come into this God ordained marriage, you're going to get a false start. You're going to be led on and then eventually hurt. So allow him to come to you. there will be times, but you already know this your spouse. So I was just going to say there are times like how God did with me. He led me to my God ordained spouse. He told me to go over there to where he was at. He told me 3 times because I was like, no. I told God no. I was like, I'm done with me. I told you. But the third time I said, okay. But that was God just, he was put me in his position so that he can see, here's your wife. Now I'm about to see if you can recognize her. So there's times when God will lead us to the man, okay? But let him text you and reach out to you. Yeah, if you need a session with me, just go ahead, go to God-ordainedmarriages.com and click on coaching tab and book a session. I would Crystal, okay. This is what I say. She said, should I still pray for him? Number one, go back and ask God, is this my God ordained husband? Because you'd have prayed for him in the past. Go back and ask God, is this my God ordained husband? Wait for the answer. Okay. If you feel led to pray for him, go ahead and pray for him. But what I'm saying is I won't be every day, because I'm in my prayer closet every day. I still do this, even though Master has woken up. I'm still rebuking, binding, all this stuff, right? I won't be doing all that for him if I don't have any clarity on who this man is. Now I pray for your soul. Okay, maybe I might see, you in darkness. I pray over that, but I'm not about to be giving you my prayers every single day. If God not leading me into that, I'm gonna go ahead and value that. I'm gonna value these prayers, okay? So your first step, Crystal, is to go to God, ask God, give me clarity regarding this man. Is he my God ordained spouse? And then you can ask God, do you want me to continue to pray for him? He'll tell you. Yeah. Yes, those counterfeits. They know. Counterfeits know. Okay, so Florence says, sometimes I get discouraged that him and the counterfeit will never end, especially because they share a 1-year-old child together, even though I heavily feel intuitively that they are in happy faith. So, prayer points. Here's the prayer points for you, Florence. I can't remember if you know this is your God ordained spouse or not, but if you do know that this is your spouse for sure, here's your prayer point, because sometimes he got a child with her, so he's attached to this child. You said the child is 1 year old. He's attached to this child. This is fresh. He's a 1 year in the fatherhood. He has an attachment to it. This is something he always wanted, not with her, but he always wanted his own family, not with her though. Okay, I'm just saying. So he's in a situation. Let's say he's not happy and he's faking. He's in a situation. How do I move away from this counterfeit without it hurting my child? And if he can't come to a solution that's not going to hurt his child, he's going to stay and tolerate it. So here's where your prayers come in at. I rebuke all demonic obligations. Okay. I rebuke, and when I say obligation, because he's feeling obligated to stay in this relationship so that he don't hurt his child, when he haven't even thought about, well, I could co-parent. I don't have to be with her. We can co-parent. He haven't thought of that. Okay. So I would rebuke the demonic obligation. I would also rebuke, it might be some control, spirit of control going on, witchcraft or whatever. I would also rebuke the fakeness, the unhappiness, and I would ask God to heal, the parts of him that's keeping him there. I would also tell God, I'd be like, if that was me, let me put myself in your shoes. I'm the type, I'm gonna be very honest with you, Florence. I'm the type, okay? If this was me and I'm able to talk to him, I would feed him the words. Okay. I would tell him the solution. I really would. I would sit him down and tell him, listen, okay. I would probably even ask him, are you happy with her? You know, if he say no or whatever, whatever, I would tell him, listen, you don't have to be with her just because y'all got a child together. This is just me. I'm so direct. And more than likely, if I'm saying this to this person, I probably have already identified their mother and father wound, and I would point that out to them. You only stand there because your daddy left, and you always wanted your father around in the home, right? This is me. You got to find you, okay? But I would pray. I would just pray, God, lead him out of this relationship, get him the words, get him, the words to say to her, get him the comfort in knowing that if he end things with her, it don't necessarily got to affect the child, continue to keep him in his child's life, he just need help. That's what that is. But I'm just so blunt, I'd be like, I just tell him, like, I had told my God-ordained spouse last year, I said, you need to get her closure. I sure did. I said, she's not going to let you go. She's not going to leave you alone. You got to give her closure. I told him that because I understand women and how we are. You can't just ghost us. You can't just disappear or try to cut it off. We need closure. We need to understand what happened here. I sure did. Yep. Janine said, I cut off all means of communication and decided to walk fully in obedience to God. Okay. Woo. Okay. I did say we were going to end this. Okay, y'all. I'm going to take 3 more. There is, hold up, I can't see. There is a divine separation between me and my kingdom spouse right now. But after 3 months of not seeing each other, he invited me to hear his testimony this past Monday. And I was honored. Okay, we hugged. Let's look at that. What was his testimony? I'm curious to know that. That's good. That's good. And he invited you to hear. So he wanted you to see the progress. I'm assuming it's progress. He wanted you to see the growth. He wanted you to be there celebrating with him. That's good. That's Paula. I need you to send me that. Send me that either in an email or comment on one of these videos so I can screenshot it and share it. Okay. Because that's a testimony. They sure will bow. I tell them counterfeits bow. I had a pastor to pray a hedge of thorns over me to keep me from yielding to my flesh and from going my way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See? And she said she said confirmation, the counterfeit knew me before I had recognized her. Yeah, that spirit that's in her recognized who you are. And she doesn't care for me at all. It's that spirit. I can feel her spirit and how she looks at me. Yeah, because when you think, I think it's in the book of Luke. I think it's the book of Luke where let me see. Hold on. It's either Luke or John or Mark. It's one of them. But remember when Jesus he could just be walking about and the demons, they recognized Jesus and they would run to him. They'd say, what do you want with us? Son of the Most High. They knew who he was. They identified Jesus. Like Jesus saw that he knew where the demon was at, but but they would run to him. And that's how the counterfeits are. They recognize us when we step on the scene. Mm-hmm. That's why. Well, let me stop. Yeah. Built-in fire said accountability to our spouses bring deliverance is what God is showing me. It does. Because deliverance, deliverance isn't just calling out demons. Deliverance is just really being set free. Deliverance is, I'm set free from whatever kept me stuck at this level, right? So yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what accountability does. Ashley said, I had dreams of my husband. I don't see his face, but it's always a woman around, and she keeps telling him not to be with me. The girl asked to kiss him in my dream, and he turned away from her. Yeah, and so God is showing you that counterfeits, other women, all these demonic spirits around him. Rebuke it, take authority over it. Tell these spirits to be removed, cast into the sea. And break our soul ties, okay? Because it's that's what he's showing you. Unhealthy soul ties. That's right. And just I'm not going to entertain a counterfeit at all. Let God be God. And see, we have the power to speed this stuff up. This stands up. I mean, it really does. I didn't. People used to always tell me, "You don't understand how powerful you are, Tequila," and I didn't. People always told me that. But let me tell you something. When that devil came for me last year, because it was just so painful. But God, in the way how God was dealing with me, because he wouldn't allow me to take a break, like just to stop praying. He would just own me every day. If I tried to miss a day, I felt the attacks of the enemy. So that told me you can't miss a day, right? I forgot why I started saying that. I saw something. I forgot where I was about to go with this. Next. So Ashley, look at what your dream is saying. Who in control in that dream, in that second dream? That woman, she's telling, because you said she now was telling me to be with him, right? That woman is in control. That's the Lord is speaking loud and clear to you. That's something he wants you to rebuke, okay? You don't have to know who this woman is in your dream, but the Lord is just showing you, I need you to pray against this, okay? So that's why I always say counterfeit. When I'm praying against another woman, and it's really a spirit, I always say, I rebuke counterfeits, Jezebel, Delilah, Hagar, seducing spirit. It's some more, I say. I can't remember, but I like to, I say all of them. Patricia said, the mindset also is making a connection with someone that's not for you, which will cause lack of loyalty, commitment, and hurt feelings. When you date around while waiting, it can be a big mess. It can. That's how you end up with baby daddies, They were never supposed to, be in your life. Mm-hmm. She said, is it a spirit of lust? I get what you're saying. Is it a spirit of lust? I used to love that my spouse was so lustful. I need to be delivered. I get what you're saying, but it is a spirit of lust. Yeah. And you can pray that, up out of him. You can pray and move him into being self-control, self-discipline, walking in purity. Yep, don't change SE, because who you are, is what he needs. That's why he told you don't change. Sylvester said I have a need for understanding too. Okay, y'all. We about to go ahead and end. Listen, I love the comment. That's the thing, because I sit up here and we'll be going for 5 hours strong. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Okay, so listen. If you haven't already signed up to the boot camp, you see the link down there below, at the bottom at the screen, God-ordainedmarriages.com/boot camp. We starting September the 13th. Okay. We're going for 5 weeks strong. We're getting prepared to walk into these marriages. Okay. Some of y'all have already, you see me posted on the community tab. Some of these prodigals are waking up. Okay. So you want to be ready when they wake up. Okay. You want to be ready, knowing how to respond to them when God sends them back. Okay. For those of you who want to book a one-on-one session, God-ordainedmarriages.com, click on the tab that says coaching, and you can book your session from there. You could book a regular one-on-one session, a dream interpretation session, or even a book coaching session for those of you who are writing a book and you want to learn how to publish your book on Amazon and Kindle. Okay. So that is it. Everyone have a great night. Make sure everyone like this video, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all tomorrow because I am sleepy now. I'll see you all tomorrow. So have a great night. All right. Take care.